Hello and welcome to Bleeding Tree Gaming. My name's Amy, aka Warpfiend, and today I am joined by...
I'm Samime, aka Luke. We're doing it the wrong way this time.
Yep. Oh dear. And today we're taking a look at our tier list from all of the faction focuses we've seen revealed from Age of Sigmar 4.0. The release is not far away now. I think we're very much looking forward to it at this point.
Bursting at the seams.
Yes. So we're going to go through all of the faction focuses we've seen and rate them based on that. We have maybe seen some other bits and pieces here and there, so we might talk about that, but we haven't seen the full things yet. I know a lot of creators have been sent them by now. We haven't. We're a small channel, so we're just going on what we know so far. And first off, unfortunately, I believe this was one made last edition, this tier list we've got here. So we're going to have to put Beasts of Chaos into F. Sorry there.
Poor Bleaty Goat.
They have failed to make it into the edition. So that's the first one.
Although their legendary rules will come out and they'll probably be really...
Yeah, who knows?
Ironic.
Who knows? That would certainly be ironic, yeah. So... first up, we have Stormcast Eternals. We saw like the battle traits, as I said, kind of half of them taken off by the deep striking rules, but they do have a lot of powerful units with some really powerful abilities, particularly in terms of control.
Like, War Scroll abilities, I think, definitely are what save Stormcast Eternals. Like, solid stat lines across every unit and just some really interesting things they can do. Like I mean, again, I'm trying to like just separate out from what I've seen from Spearhead and like what I've seen of like other games being played but without seeing the full rules to them. But there's all kinds of like fun little tricks that you actually have on the War Scroll for certain characters that really boost up the army among what you actually generally see in this preview.
Yep. I think they're going to be quite high ranking, although maybe not an S tier army.
Like S tier, but like they are definitely quite. I'd probably say like an A or a very high B at the least. Like,
yeah, somewhere A or B. I'm going to put them in A for now. Right, so the next army we saw was obviously Skaven. And
now Skaven, they've got so many interesting tricks, and like even in their battle traits built in, like their tricks are there, and they are.
Yes.
Like that 3 claw steps ahead ability in your opponent's hero phase is so good. It's like
yes, get a free normal move in someone else's phase, yeah.
Which is well seen from like the Vermin Lord Warp Seer as well. I think he adds like an extra 3 inches of move onto like any unit that uses that ability, as long as he's on the board as well.
Yeah, we saw some interesting kind of like typically Skaven, or it could go really right or it could go really wrong style things, especially with this Prize Creations one for the Fleshmeld Menagerie.
And the Scryer stuff have definitely got like the ability to take mortal wounds on like the roll of a 1 doing their like battle formation ability, but they've also then got it where they can get +1 to wound on all their range weapons, and if they roll a 6, they get +1 to wound and +1 rend onto all of their ranged attacks. It's like, Scryer, if things go right for you, you're definitely going to be doing a lot of damage. And Lord Screech, like that profile, just being able to, choose each battle round what different kind of clan ability you're going to have to help the rest of your army.
Yeah. At the same time as they have some really great stuff, I'm not sure if they're quite going to be as reliable a winning army as Stormcast are.
Yeah,
how do you think?
You're definitely leaving certain things to chance, and certain things like the warp lightning cannons, for example, like it's really good, but like it depends if like that's going to be more expensive than the unit you're just going to delete with mortal damage. It's
Yes, yes. And so
so
Skaven, I think you're going to be a B tier.
BT. They've definitely got some really cool movement shenanigans tricks for like scoring objectives and things. But if like the enemy runs you down, I think you're in trouble with
Yeah,
Skaven.
yeah. They could really struggle to hit as hard as others if the dice aren't with you.
Although clan rats seem to be like ridiculously resilient in a lot of the reports I've been watching going out. Like just the fact they don't run away now, but just keep coming back is.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to be a powerful trick.
Talking
Next
about,
up's Gloomspite Git, so
I'm very excited for Gloom Spites. I've been telling you excitedly how excited I am for my trolls in 4th edition.
Yeah. So they've got some really
Um,
powerful moves, especially if you're going for the Trog herd like you are. I think that's been suitably empowered,
Yeah,
even though with the 3rd edition rules, it's still like super good.
the squig side of it's definitely been heavily nerfed. Like, other than that, I mean, you've still got most of the exact same effects of the Bad Moon as before.
Yes.
Ragrot's still got his really cool little spell for like shooting mortal damage, but it doesn't go off on like a free or something ridiculous like it does before. Loomtrine still does what Loomtrine does, but I mean, it is like one of the higher health and better save pieces of terrain that I've seen.
Yes, definitely. And since those are not costing you anything now, you'd be a fool not to take them, really.
I mean, yeah, again, it's like it's a command point to bring a unit back, but it's better than trying to just rely on a 4+ roll because you'll never get that 4+ roll when you want it. It's like,
so I can't speak to the Gits themselves. I know obviously the Troggoths are pretty damn terrifying. Having gone up against them.
Unless the trolls are like way more expensive per unit of them, I think an all-troll Gits army is going to be something absolutely horrific to go against in this edition.
Yeah. For Troggoths and not necessarily for the Gits army, I'm going to put them in A. Did you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, I'll probably say like a high B or
High B, A.
It's gonna be when we get to other things. Like we'll see how it shakes out, how we still feel of them in those.
Yeah, let's put them in B then for now. Okay, next up we have after them it's Nighthaunt.
Yeah, Death armies are just ridiculous. Like when we saw like the faction specific tactic previews, it was like the Death one was just basically kill something, and it was like, yeah, that's an easy.
Yeah. I think the Death ones in particular like are going to benefit from like higher skill players just because there's a lot of kind of complicated tricks that they can do that aren't necessarily going to be what like beginner players are going for. They've got some great tricks that like beginner players will kind of pick up on instantly. But I think there's a lot of kind of
Nighthaunt is obviously everything has the fly keyword, so it's like you're not getting the benefits of the terrain rules and things.
Yes.
But you are sitting at like 4-up saves that can't be changed across most of the army. And
I think these are going to be one of the most powerful armies if you can play them right.
So definitely if you can play them right, and also what the dice feel like for you on the day, because like if you're rolling that up, like fairly consistently, like Nighthaunt are probably one of the worst armies to play against in the world. It's like
so where are we feeling for these?
I would definitely say very high A.
Yes.
S. I mean, Nighthaunt always do suffer with a couple of things, like obviously not being able to make you save better than a 4, but they're fast.
That's true.
They can get in and out of combat. They've got really good movement. Yeah, Nighthaunt, right?
Okay, next up then, Disciples of Tzeentch.
Now, this is a weird one. I'm not really sure where I feel about Tzeentch at all. It's
Uh,
I think when
I
we
don't know.
first saw the preview, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is good." I mean, like everything's getting a bit weaker in this edition, but then like we've seen other armies come out since with the preview rules, and
Yeah, you've
see a
got all these
bit.
burning rules, and like, yeah, again, it's a lot of things like moving parts that have to work together.
I'd say
Um,
it's like if as soon as one kind of like weak link in the chain goes down, like you've basically into the meat of the army of like something like Kairos at the back, and as soon as something like
yeah,
Kairos is
yeah.
down, then you've taken the whole army down, really.
So I think like situationally they could be good, but they're not going to like. I think they're going to be too kind of fragile and easily disrupted to be like a top tier army.
So
So
they've still got the cool like mechanics of the dice and everything.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Okay then. So next up after
ogres?
them, ogres. Yes, yes.
Now,
These guys hit like a truck.
I was reading earlier. I can't remember if it was like some of the prayer lore or something, other than like the previewed one we've got here, and there is actually like even more means of raising control score amongst the army.
Right, right. So
So
they are just going to like really dominate like scoring
and
victory points.
it's like something I saw where it was like you can easily like, give like a +1 attack to a unit,
Yeah.
and there was something about it was like the what are they called, the Iron Guts, like the more armored ones with like the big weapons. It was like mentioned some kind of ability to give them run and charge, which like they get +2 to their run roll until they've done their like battle
Yeah,
eating thing.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, the
so
a feast on flesh thing, the once per battle healing.
I
Yeah.
definitely feel like
So
this was an army that everyone was like really down when like it was first announced, because obviously they've lost like a lot of their potential for the mortal wounds on the charge, but like there's
I
still
think
loads of
compared to
wounds to chew through, and like they'll stick
honestly, I
around.
think yeah, compared to a lot of the ones we've seen, I would put these in S tier because they are going to be doing the big damage.
I say damage,
S
but
tier,
like
high
they
A.
just got like they've got good control score, I think, and I mean like they might not
Yes, yes.
necessarily be able to do like all of the tactics of like getting around to the battlefield edges, but any
Mm,
of the ones that involve killing something, I reckon the ogres could probably do it fairly easily. Like,
yeah, I reckon they're going to be a major player in this edition anyway. So after them, we had Flesh Eater Courts. And how
yes.
did you feel about this? Yes, yes. I think you could be right. Obviously, they're the most recently updated faction, other than obviously Skaven and Stormcast. But
the more
uh,
the more I've been
yeah.
reading like their full kind of previews from their full rules, the more I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, they don't really seem to have lost anything. Like they're just,
Yeah, yeah. I think this is one of the easiest S tiers we're going to get. And if I can find them on here, where are they?
fourth one in on the top, bro.
Oh, yes, I see them.
And so the only thing I'm worried about them still is I haven't actually seen the war scroll for the horrors, and like most of my army's horrors. It's like
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard I
that
can
can be.
return them in droves, but it's like
So Fire
honestly,
Slayers. I mean, the one that the studio team really loves, and I know that like the Fire Slayer players out there, although they're few and far between, I know they're one of the like least played armies. Like there are a lot of people who are passionate about them, and I
oh,
think this.
there is there is something about them that keeps on like drawing me to them. It is just like that whole.
Yeah.
I wish there was more uniqueness to different units to them. It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of red-haired dwarves basically, and not a whole lot else. Even some more like magma beasts would be great to add to them.
they are cool though. They're just angry
Yeah.
slayers, basically.
Yeah, they've certainly got their place, but I don't know that they're a top tier army, but I do know that
Yeah,
like a lot of their players are going to be happy with them in the new edition.
they're definitely not like they're definitely not hitting like the A class or anything, but like
Hmm.
probably a mid B, like very high C at the least.
Yeah, let's put them in B for
A
now.
lot of the everything with their army just depends on whether they can make it to combat and whether you got the numbers of them to like swamp the enemy for combat as well. It's like,
Yeah, true. Um, After them, it was Deepkin, and I'm really excited about playing Deepkin in the new
mm,
edition. They seem to have a lot of their abilities have carried over. Some of them
mm.
have been nerfed a little. But
Oh,
there's some other stuff that's been given some nice buffs.
I'll give you a little surprise on air now. The Leviathan
Mhm.
actually gives you units of 5 up ward if they're in range of it.
Yes, I saw that one earlier. So I might have to be buying another Leviathan at some point soon.
Yeah, they've kept all their fun little tricks and everything, and especially when they get to the point where they
Hmm.
get strike first, that's always pretty nasty.
Yeah, now I want to put these in. Oh, I don't know. I don't know that they're quite an A, but then we're
Yeah,
already
I'd give them a
packing.
very solid B. Very
Yeah.
solid B.
Now I think we might have to do some rearrangement because I can see a
B's
trend
getting
here
full.
where there's yes, but we'll see how we're feeling because I think
Well, I'll say we definitely weren't sure on Gits, were we? I mean, like
mm,
Troll side's one thing, but the rest of the army kind of like.
yes, yeah. So Maggotkin, I really like the rules for Maggotkin as well. I thought they were a pretty
they
powerful army.
they just I don't know really whether we saw particularly a huge amount of war scrolls for them, did we? It was like I think we saw Great
No.
Clean one, Bile
Pile
Piper,
Piper,
Harbinger, and
Harbinger, Blight
Knights. Oh,
Kings.
we
Yeah.
did see like the Pox Walkers, I think, and the Spearhead detachment thing.
Yes.
Um,
So nothing we've seen here is like blowing me away completely, but there are some like really powerful kind of disease abilities that are going off that I think are gonna make these.
the thing with the army is they want to just plonk themselves onto the objectives and just stay in your way
Yes,
of getting to
yes.
the objective and just spread disease as much as they possibly can. It's like which the great unclean one's got the whole thing to like bring stuff back, but he's also got the thing to give the disease keyword to things, shooting it with a
Yes,
spotlight.
yes, which is going to be an interesting mechanic to keep track of compared to how it currently stands.
They definitely
Yeah,
seem like they're good fun and everything, but I'm not sure like what I'd put them in on the tier. Like they definitely seem like
um,
you're really gonna have a hard time shifting them. Like most of them have got like 3 up saves and a 5 up ward now. Like,
yeah. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and an A,
okay.
even though nothing we've seen is A so far, just because they tend to be just like a really good army overall, and I
Oh,
think like we've consistently seen them performing well.
if you roll in fairly hot on those kind of like 5 up wards, like you're never moving them
Mm.
off the table. It's
Yes. Um, but maybe we'll change that as we come onto it. We've got a lot in B, so I don't want to throw another
yeah.
one in there. Just like, oh, we're just averaging all the armies. But I think that they're going to be a sleeper, and once we see the full rules, that yeah, they're going to be
Yeah, I mean,
pretty damn good. Now, I think this is another S tier. How do you think?
it's the
Is it
problem
where
with
you want it?
Sun's a very weird army, aren't they? Because it's like you see the huge health characteristic and everything.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably give them an A at like the highest, really.
Okay. Broad is certainly an S tier war scroll, I'll say that much.
I think that they're definitely like it's going to be really hard to take an objective from them. They've got decent movement to get around the map to where they want to go, but it is just always the thing that
Yeah.
like or are you going to have the numbers to do what you want
Mm,
to win? Because
I
like,
mean, that is always a hindrance that they have to deal with. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean they hit on fours now, but they wound on twos, so they can still potentially do a fair bit of damage each as well.
Let's put them
I
as an
really
A.
like the Gatebreakers War Scroll. Like some of the stuff that was in
Yes,
that was just
yes.
like ridiculously good. It was
Let's put
yeah,
them as an A for
I'd
now
say
then.
A. I'd say A.
Yeah.
Against someone that's unprepared to deal with them, you probably are gonna like just walk onto every objective you want all game and just yeah.
Hmm. Right.
Oh,
Ossiarch Bone Reapers then.
S.
I think yes. These are again they're quite a technical army, like a lot of the death ones kind of
Yeah,
can be,
they
but
you do have to kind of
they
like do things in a certain way with them, like castle things around stuff, and to get the most out of that the
yeah.
buff mechanic that they have for the hero.
So you really need a
Relentless.
little bit of experience or just to do your research beforehand, but I think they're going to be one of the heaviest hitting armies in the
Did
edition.
I show you Catacross's War Scroll?
Yes, yes, I believe you
Yeah,
did. That looked pretty good.
yeah. Basically, anything within wholly within 18 inches of him gets the benefit of the relentless discipline effects. So you charge
Yeah.
them in the charge phase, they can go, well, we're going to get +1 rend against everything that's just charged. And then it goes to the combat phase, and it's like, well, all our stuff's now going to get a 5-up ward against all your attacks going into it as well. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I know it's like we're quite heavily weighted towards the top end now, so we haven't seen some of the bad
Don't worry,
performing
Slanesh is
armies
coming
yet.
on.
Yes, I was gonna say. First up, we have Disciples of Cain, though, and I don't think these are going to be a top tier army anymore, like the heights of like second edition when
Think
like they first brought Marathi in, but they're not going to be shabby.
they are such a glass hammer. Like
Mm,
if if you're not experienced at all in playing the game and you like just go in using this army thinking like you're gonna win with it straight off the bat, like you're probably gonna just lose all your units, like being
yeah.
charging in like on the clapback. You're probably gonna lose more stuff.
Again, they are like a kind of skill and tactics and getting all your auras lining up style army. You really need to be giving them the ward saves, basically.
Marathi and Shadow Queen are absolutely brilliant. It is just kind of like, well, I can only take 3 damage this turn, so I don't really need to worry too much about any kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd say whereas in previous editions they might have done higher. So far from what I've seen, I'd put them at C.
Yeah, their archers have lost like their ability to do like mortals and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I reckon they can still do really well, but given someone that like can play them well.
Yes. There's like a borderline thing. A lot of these are kind of bordering B and C or B and A, but yeah, I put them a high C there. High C vitamin drink. Next up, we have Lumineth, and I don't know what to make of these really. I can't remember very well going through it, to be honest. They're not one of the armies that particularly appeals to me. I know you've picked up some of them, though. So.
Yeah, I really need to actually carry on building them because I'm dying to give them a try at some point. But the facets of war sound really interesting, and the fact like the battle traits, the battle formations essentially let you kind of like tailor it. So if you want to bring like all of the Alarith stuff, you can, but then you can pick.
Yeah.
You can have the Alarith thing all game long, but if you've got units that aren't Alarith, you can basically pick another facet of war that benefits them like every turn.
Fair enough. I mean, like from what I know about this army, they can be very powerful.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of like the thing where you have to like really plan out what you're doing with them. They're not So like War Scrolls alone probably don't actually show off the full might of what they can do. Like,
Yeah. Where
I,
would
I don't
you?
think I've seen Teclis's War Scroll yet, which would be very interesting. I'm
Yeah,
wondering
yeah,
how
that's
much of a
something
beat
new to
Sticky is going to be in this one.
see. So I
Uh,
don't have a clue. Where would you rank Lumineth? Yeah.
I haven't truly seen like enough of their War Scrolls or anything really to like see how they
Mm,
fare with like some of their stuff. Like watching some Spearhead games and everything, it's just kind of like the infantry and everything just fall down really quickly and don't really have the movement to get anywhere. It's like,
yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, like, yeah,
Be
maybe
decisive. Go on, because I don't have an idea.
oh god, I'll just be it then for now.
Let's put them on B for now.
Just put them with the other elves for now.
Yes, yes. And next.
No, don't make me cry.
Rip Slanesh.
Oh, I really hope that Glutos has his crippling banishment thing to like reduce the amount of dice that the enemy can use for charging.
Yeah, either that or just a day one FAQ. 2 temptation dice can replace 2 dice in a charge roll to give an opponent a 12-inch charge.
It is that battle trait alone that is like
Yes. You
couple
never
of-
want to use euphoric rules at all, because like the second you do, you're opening up the situation where your opponent gets to charge you out of turn 12 inches.
I like it when GW do some fluff in rule writing, but like this Slanesh fluff is ridiculous compared to like what it
Yeah.
was like last edition. Like we've said a couple of times now, it's just like there needs to be so much more of a negative for actually using the temptation dice.
Yeah, it is just, oh, have a freebie. It should be like, have a freebie, but you will suck your soul to hell somehow.
And like fiends, like when we were talking about the Blades of Corn in their preview article, it's just kind of like fiends have the beast keyword, so they can only ever count as one objective. But like flesh hounds do have it, but they have Karanak that basically makes them ignore it.
Yes, they very much need their own kind of character to do that. I think we saw some of the War Scrolls, like the Twin Souls, a solid War Scroll. Obviously,
we were liking the fact that we were saying like you could probably have the Twin Souls as a nice screen, like subtract 1 from the attack characteristic of things that have charged you, plus they get a 5 board when they're if they don't charge, they get the 5 up board. I think the Fiends, like, didn't they have a rule where they could potentially give fight last?
Yes, strike last on once per turn on a 4 up. Yeah, that's good.
It's really
good. But unfortunately, I think the fact that the faction rules are so bad is like the null of death for them, basically.
It's like if they had the thing that Bone Reapers do, where they can go, we're charged, so we're gonna everything's gonna get +1 rend against things that have charged us this turn.
Yeah, that would work great.
I just don't understand. It's just basically like to get my faction rule on up to 3 units, I've got to give you a guaranteed 12-inch charge. It's like, you might take some mortal damage on a 1 or a 2, but anything else they were fine as well.
I think that was it. Yeah,
it's something ridiculous like that.
So.
Now fix it, GW, please. I want to play my knights in 4th.
Right. We're going to do. They've said Auric War Clans are coming in 1 faction set, but they split them up for faction focuses. Obviously, Iron Jaws and Cruel Boy. So let's just talk about both of those. First of all, They are now very different armies. I mean, they were in the current book, although they were combined in the one book, and you could take them together.
I think we really like the dirty trick mechanics. I remember when we were talking about it, and the swamp trap sounded really useful to like hide stuff against terrain. There's some fairly decent war scrolls, if I remember correctly. Like
Gobsprakk was one of the best anti-wizard units we've seen so far, I think.
Yeah, this Killer Boss and Great Gnashtooth and the guy with the banner.
Yep. Even like the basic Gut Rippers have got this subtract 1 from hit rolls on a 3-off. And also
they're fairly solid, those ones.
Yeah, and Iron Jaws, like I'm really looking forward to playing. I'm not sure if Mighty Destroyers is going to really disadvantage them not being able to get into charge first turn. Because they can't shoot.
And we've seen that smashing and bashing now is not like an instant next activation anymore. It's just like it's one of the battle formations where like the next one of your units to attack can get a +1 to hit if your first unit destroyed something.
Yes, yeah. But in terms of the units, like I think the units have gone great. Like Gordrax, super powerful. Borchant have been changed to a priest, obviously. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go, but I think that'd be fine.
I think they had some fairly decent prayers from some things I've been watching. So yeah, I think you're going to like playing them still.
I'm going to put these in B. I think they're going to be a solid B. Yes, yeah, all the orcs combined. While there is some downsides, there's a lot of positives as well combined between the two. So after Kruleboyz, we had Soulblight Gravelords. Again.
Yeah. There's a pattern with death armies.
Yes. I will say these are probably slightly easier to use than the two other death armies we've seen. I think these would be great, like almost like beginner army, just because they are so powerful.
It's quite nice seeing the hero war scrolls and actually just going, yeah, that vampire actually looks really powerful to just take out there and smash something up.
Yep. Blood Knights look great cavalry. Terrifying as they are. Yep. I think these are going pretty high. Are they S though? That's the question. S or A?
I think I've seen that certain things like the zombies have been nerfed slightly again, but then it's just like they just spawn loads and loads of things that just swamp objectives and then hit you with the things that they want to when they want to. So I'd say
yeah, I'd say like those 4 armies are certainly looking like what I would consider the S tier so far. Next up we have Seraphon, and like there's so many armies here that are good or better, and I feel we've kind of graded them too high because of that. But I think like this edition, they have got a really nice balance from what we've seen. And while there are kind of a few clunkers here and there, a lot of these armies are going to be performing well against most matchups.
There's so much I want to see more of in the Seraphon one, because I really like the great plan battle trait and the further the great plan for extra benefits. We'd seen like Kroxigor looked really good on like one of the initial teaser war scrolls. Slans looked great. Saurus Warriors have still got like their ability to have like +1 saves.
Yeah, stuff like the Carnosaur, and I believe it was we also saw the Engine of the Gods as well there.
Oh, I've seen the Bastalon war scrolls as well. They still keep their 2-up saves, and I think the one that I built mine up as, where he's got the actual ranged weapon, that's actually got like crit 2 hits on it now.
Oh, nice.
So potentially you can do a lot more with his shooting. I'm definitely going to give them like at least an A.
An A, possibly an S. Yeah, I wouldn't put them quite in the same tier as some of the ones we've seen here, but yeah, definitely an A.
They're definitely going to be I don't think they're going to be quite as powerful as like the kind of Starborn have been in third
Hmm.
edition. But it's the fact that like you can basically run whatever you want in the army together now, and yeah,
Yeah,
the actual battle
yeah.
rate seems really good for them as well. Like picking and choosing like how you want to boost the army from the start of the game onwards.
So moving on to Slaves to Darkness. Now we saw they're very powerful in Spearhead, and I think they are going to be equally as powerful in the main game.
I think it's
But
going to be ridiculously good.
I don't know if I'd put them in S or I think maybe like an A tier or possibly a B, but I don't know
I'm
if a
gonna
B
say
is too low.
I definitely put them like mid to high A.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, it just depends like how expensive each unit is for them, really, as to like how good they are
Yeah.
on the battlefield.
I mean, we're obviously working from limited information here, and the people who have already seen all the rules would probably be able to clarify on this. So, if you are one of those people, please let us know in the comments. Yeah, we'd love to hear how you think we've judged this just from what we've seen alone. So, yeah, A tier for them. Yeah.
Honestly,
Um,
like the fact knights have gone up by an extra wound, and they still keep the kind of like marks of chaos abilities that they got at the moment. Like they're going to be so hard to shift that army.
Yep, yep. I've apparently missed out some of these
Cities,
faction
I think.
things.
Oh, and Caradon.
Yes, yes. So,
Uh,
well, can you tell me
Caradons, I
anything about those?
remember. I think Caradons are probably going to be kind of like C tier, or I wouldn't put them down as
Yes.
Slanesh, but like they're
No, no.
definitely the whole shtick of being in the boats being gone. I think is going to hurt them.
I mean, shooting attacks have been kind of nerfed a bit across the board, so they're not going to be like the all-powerful destroying force that they might have been a while back.
Is it
Yeah,
again like it's limited information we've got? Like once the full army rules are out, they could actually be, you know,
yeah, yeah,
devastating.
true. So how about cities then?
Cities, I, they're definitely good. They have they still have the like their orders abilities, don't they? Where I can't remember now. It's all
Yes,
plus to
yeah,
movement and everything at the start of the turn, and there's some
yeah.
decent
So,
war scrolls. Like probably not as decent as some other army war scrolls because of the whole like humans hitting on and wounding on
hmm,
certain numbers that they've done now.
I'm torn
Uh,
between a B and a C for them.
ooh, oh dear. Be put on
Yes,
the spot. I'd probably still put them at B.
yeah. Let's give them that benefit. Right. So back on course. Sylvaneth. Sylvaneth. Then,
I'm really liking the look of Sylvaneth, to be fair. Like they,
yeah, another like. Obviously, GW is trying to get these faction focuses to sell the factions as
oh
much
yeah,
as
yeah,
possible.
yeah.
So there is a chance, like, we could be completely wrong because they've been hiding all the like glaring flaws. But then, why show us Slanesh at all?
Oh, I feel like they've done it the wrong way with Slanesh. Like again, I feel like
Mm,
if Sigvald and Glutus's war scrolls are in there, I'd probably be a lot happier about it. But
yeah, yeah.
having seen the regular Keeper of Secrets war scroll, and again, it just seems to have a thing that benefits the enemy more than you on
Mm.
there.
So
Again,
Sylvaneth,
sorry, we're not talking about Sylvaneth.
yeah. So I'd give them like a solid B,
Yeah,
maybe an A.
very solid B,
Yeah,
not an A.
yeah.
They've got movement shenanigans for days. They've got some really interesting looking war scrolls. I'm very excited to play against some Sylvaneth. It's like,
Yeah. And last up, we had Blades of Corn bringing up the rear there, but
oh days. Is it too early to say an S for Blades of Corn?
That's interesting. I would definitely say at least an A. It could very well be knocked into an S.
I'd probably say the highest of the A's for them, if not an S. Like,
Yes, yeah. I'm quite happy at those top 4 being higher than any of the others in the tier list. I'd quite happily say that.
also, those traits in Blades of Corn are absolutely amazing, and like the war scrolls they show off, like Bloodthirster's hitting on freeze is just ridiculously good. It's like...
Yes, yes.
And Karanak, like, I actually lost it, didn't I, when we were actually like reading Karanak's that 8-inch
amazing.
Every time the hero he picks as a quarry moves, it's like. But yeah, are you happy with these, or are there any of them now that we got to the end that you feel like moving down any? I kind of feel like maybe Gits and Fyreslayers probably belong in the sea. Not the actual sea.
Gits.
Like, not the
No, that's where my Deepkin are living. Please don't put them there. Now, that's interesting because Gits has dropped. We spoke quite highly of them, and like being in sea is.
I mean, I love the look of the troll list.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure like playing with grots and things are really good, but I know a lot of people are very upset about like the squigs being so nerfed for this.
That is true, yeah. Okay, well, I'll put Fyreslayers down there just because B is looking rather crowded.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of kind of middle of the pack armies which will be good in a bunch of situations, but won't be really like outstanding.
Again, I feel like Fyreslayers and Daughters definitely belong in the same kind of tier as each other because they're both very much like lots of attacks, but if they don't ever get to combat, then
yeah, very much true. Like all of these ones they've got some great tricks. Like you've got ogres, what they called, flesh eaters, Ossiarch, and Soulblight. Like all of those have got some really powerful tricks, and more importantly, they've got some scoring tricks, or a majority of them do. And scoring victory points is obviously going to be super important.
Yeah, it's like all 3 of those death factions there have just got like the abilities to like just bring back annoying shield wall type.
Yeah. Yeah. I would.
Nighthaunt kind of as well, but yeah.
I kind of think Nighthaunt. I don't know if they're going to move down to a B now, because I'd see like Khorne, Behemoth, Nurgle, Seraphon, Slaves to Darkness, and Stormcast being the A tier.
I mean, I mean, the fact that they're not benefiting from any of the terrain rules probably could justify that, but it's a very weird army. It's like
true.
The fact that the Nighthaunt, just the fact that like they're never affected by rend at all, but then they can't improve their save. It's like
it is going to be good.
You're either going to have a great game with them, or you're going to fail every 4-up save that's ever done.
Yes, yeah, I'd say. Well, all the armies in B tier are very good, but I don't know if I'd put them on the same caliber as like the 10 armies that have got S and A here. And that's how I'm going to leave it. I don't want to like say, no, this army's going to be rubbish if it's in B or if it's in C, really.
Oh, I don't even want to say that about anything in D.
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Yes. So how do you think we've done with this? Please let us know in the comments if you think we've got this wildly wrong or if you think we're bang on the money.
If you've seen Sigfold and Glutos' War Scroll, please let me know where as well.
Yeah. If there's any more information you have that we don't, yes, we would love to know about it. So we've been Bleeding Tree Gaming. We're going to follow this up with some more coverage of Age of Sigmar 4.0 as it emerges. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.